What's up, guys? It's Jughead here, just a down-to-earth guy trying to bring you some down-to-earth content. Welcome to film class. I should say welcome back because my first film class was a video discussing the 7 basic plots. All of human storytelling ever told in our whole history tells at least one or at most only 7 different basic plot lines, and every story that will ever come to be in the future will also fit those 7 archetypes. I really enjoyed making that video. It wasn't perfect, but it did shed a little light on my goal to be seen as a quality storytelling authority and conversation hub on YouTube someday, whether it be film or anime or comics or whatever. My Let's Watch series is about these deep, extensive, long journeys we go on together, exploring entire series from beginning to end. 24 episode series, 500 episode series, dozens or hundreds of hours. Each episode, deep, thorough conversation and analysis. Film class is instead a deep meditation and appreciation of film. Every new class, one film, one tight, concise story in a couple hours. Experience it together, then unpack and come to hopefully more deep understanding together. I'm a movie buff and a cinephile first and foremost. I want to dive into film too. Some film classes will be dedicated to broad topics on occasion, but we're going to tackle movies. Some I haven't seen and maybe you have, some I have seen and maybe you haven't, and for sure some that neither I or you have never seen before or even heard of before. Those will be extra fun, and together we'll discuss, we'll learn, and meditate on the messages, the themes, the motifs, the symbols, and takeaways, everything and anything. Today, we're not starting off with an easy one. Today, we are watching Mamoru Oshii's 1985's anime film, Angel's Egg. I have never seen this movie. I had never even heard of this movie until recently. I'm unaware as to how popular and revered this movie is, or conversely, how niche and underrated this movie is. Is Oshii a huge name? I don't know. I know nothing about this movie, and that's precisely why I wanted to start with it. It's anime, so it aligns with what we have been watching together already, but it's a film, so it's a longer commitment in one sitting than I or we have done together thus far. And aside from our watch marathons for our Let's Watch series. And this will be a full uncut reaction too, just like my Let's Watch series. All I know about this film is that it's definitely considered an art film in the purest sense of the term. I understand that by going into this, there will not necessarily be any hard, definitive meanings or conclusions. It's considered a masterpiece I've only vaguely read, but its narrative is purposely and resolutely cryptic and up to how you personally absorb it, which is what excites me about beginning my film class series right here. If you go to film school or take film classes, that is exactly what you are attending for. It sounds like there is next to no better anime film to showcase my love for cinema and my passion for storytelling and deep discussion and analysis than right here. So let's not waste any more time and let's jump right in. So in 3, 2, 1, let's watch. Now, for a movie such as this, I'm not even aware if it's going to be dialogue heavy or not. So I apologize if I'll be silent, but I assume a point in this movie is to immerse yourself and welcome those silent moments. I don't even know if it's muted right now, or if that's the point. And now I'm ironically going against everything I just said by not shutting up. That scared me. Jesus. I can already tell this is gonna fuck my mind up. Story and animation-wise. Eerie, ominous score in the background. The detail is astounding. Are we in a post-apocalyptic end-of-world environment? Has the world been destroyed? Yeah, this sci-fi fantasy, yeah, this is about to hit. Also, the movie's only an hour and 11 minutes, so it's not that bad. Not that long. What is this? A spaceship? Or a whole city on a ship? Whoa. Yeah, this is about to be trippy. Let me adjust the volume. It's so loud in my ears right now. What a shot. Sheesh. Wow. Expressionless. Our first piece of dialogue. How many minutes in? Okay, 3 minutes in, our first piece of dialogue. Are these all statues or actual people? Here's our main protagonist. I know that from the cover of the movie. Is she on the ship or somewhere on the planet? Like a stairway to heaven. Though it's red, so stairway to hell. Don't forget your egg. The silence is what's intense. Because I'm waiting for something. There's a tension to the silence. Oh, so she lives in a cave somewhere. And that's the city down below. Though the city looks destroyed, so I assume we are on a post-apocalyptic planet. And she's all alone. Protecting that one egg. Which I'm sure that egg is going to not be something definitive or physical and supposed to represent something symbolic and complex, which is going to probably take up a half hour's worth of discussion afterwards in my film class portion of this video. Represent rare life on this post-apocalyptic planet. Something fragile, as an egg can break at any moment. Angel's Egg. Now, is that a direct translation, or is that a title fitting for Western audiences? Is there a way to adjust the closed captions? I'm sorry that this is in the screen. I'm so sorry. We are what? 6 minutes in and we're only just getting to the opening credits. And I always love a movie that you have to present who created the movie and the opening credits, but to include a story in the background to follow. Not just, you know, still images, but the story is still progressing through. And I don't want to skip this, so I won't. Let me check how my recording is doing. Let's just vibe together, because I'm not skipping anything. This is a full uncut reaction. That is the type of content I want to produce. I am not going to cut any of this out. Let's vibe in the silence together. If you want to skip this, you can skip this, but I am right here. Hey, you don't even need to, because we are back in it. She had the egg under her shirt, which in a symbolic way made her appear pregnant with the egg. If there's supposed to be some message about conception and life, pregnancy. Also, just thinking, if this is 1985. Cell animation, you can't beat that quality. That human beings drew this frame by frame, cell by cell, overlapping plates. It's just gorgeous. I've yet to see modern animation recreate this. Protecting it like her own child. Again, you saw how it made her look pregnant, protecting the egg like it is her own child, like she's carrying. Like a mother. Okay. Is there something special about this water? Something sacred or special? Aside from, you know, being, you have to survive with water. But a lake like this, and the way she looked at it, almost revered it, kind of gives like religious undertones or worship, notes of worship, sacredness. Is this the seaweed underwater? Or is that her hair? Also, is that first man we saw in the beginning of the movie, is that a bad man or a good man? Is he going to be our antagonist? We want to avoid that man at all costs. He had a sword. Is he a soldier? A knight? An honorable knight or an evil soldier? Hunter? Mercenary? Whoa. Trippy. That just gave me goosebumps a little bit. With the music in the background and just my eyes hyper fixating on the flowing hair. Did the water give her some sort of psychedelic trip? Like, is this all in her mind? She drank it. I can't get over the silence in this movie. With there being a lack of action and a lack of dialogue, my discussion is going to have to rely on my comprehension of esoteric, vague messaging and symbolism and the metaphors they're trying to express. Which the only way to do that is by trying to be silent. I don't want to not talk and provide a lack of commentary and just a face here on screen, but in order to do that well, I'm going to have to really immerse myself and pay attention. That's going to be shutting up. And I'm going to keep breaking that rule. Does anybody live here? Or is this the rubble and aftermath of some end of world scenario? Like nuclear fallout, nuclear war? And those spaceships are those who left the planet? And so clean drinking water is what is so special? Like, is she just collecting the water or is she drinking it? Like drinking it for survival? Or was it almost like if you're a Christian or a Catholic or whatever denomination still take the Eucharist and the wine when you sip the blood of Christ? Again, like she looks like she's bearing child, like she looks pregnant with the egg under her dress. That has to be the image they're trying to present. So is this a meditation on fertility and women and life? Sounds like a tank. Are they going to be surprised to see her? She's the only life form out here. All this gray and black, shadow and darkness, and her bright white hair. You can spot her from a mile away. Is that a fucking gigantic gun? Oh, there's the tank tracks. Gigantic cannon on that tank. If that's a cannon, right? That has to be. Uh-oh. Is this our first confrontation? Uh-oh. Oh, there's the man with the what looks like a sword. I can't tell if that's a sword or a staff or a weapon. A projectile weapon, I mean. Is that a fucking living thing? Or are those pipes just moving? Okay. Please have an expression on your face. He has the same white hair. Uh, does he want that egg? Yeah, let's run away. I don't trust that guy. Don't break the egg, though. Sorry, I'm looking at my other screen to make sure my recording's going okay. Run. You don't even have shoes on. What the fuck did I just do? Okay, so that's a red liquid. What is that? Obviously not as special as the blue liquid. Empty that bottle. Is she gonna go get more water? There's something. Are there unique properties to this water? Or simply in this nuclear winter, water is simply essential for survival, so obtain as much as you can. Again, there are so many moments in this movie where I think my sound cut out and something's wrong, but it's not. It's the movie itself. Like how the shot was still on the fountain, but all the audio cut out, just pure silence. That's another emotional frame right there. And the ominous ringing of the bells. What is that? What is she doing? She eating some jam? Or what is that? The first time we're seeing the egg exposed. So many scenes and frames of reflecting water and ripples in the waves and sounds of water droplets falling. Almost making water a character in and of itself in this movie. Confirming there is an importance, either plot-wise or metaphorically wise, for this water. It's supposed to represent something. I'm just not grasping it yet. Either because I'm slow, or it's not been presented or conveyed in the film right now. What are you doing here? Entire planet, and you two keep bumping into each other. Get out of here. Sorry, I accidentally paused the movie. She gonna be vulnerable with him? Trusting him? I don't think she should. Could be a mistake. She doesn't have the egg with her, so at least that. Yeah, I don't think he's very welcoming. Did he steal her egg? Oh, was she... Oh, he's giving it back. Keep precious things inside of you or you will lose them. That is... Oh, I thought she was going to allow him to do it. I would have said, that is very vulnerable and intimate and odd. You have to break an egg if you want to know what's inside. That is going to be in my discussion. I'm sure that line means a lot of different things that we'll be coming back to. Keep that in your mind. I know that line has to be important for what the story, how the story unfolds. Kind of like how you have to break yourself to find out who you truly are. You have to challenge your beliefs to find out what you really believe, you know. Sometimes you gotta, you know, fall to pieces to put yourself back better. Put yourself back together better. I'm really just not trusting these two together and that man. I don't think he has well intentions. I do not see this movie being about these two together throughout the movie. This is a movie of loneliness and despair. So I think we need to see our main protagonist girl alone. Oh, so they weren't side by side, it just looked like it, but now we know that he's following her. This is predatory as hell. I am uneasy. Also an interesting juxtaposition, is that the word, of these advanced tanks, this advanced weapon that he's wielding over his shoulder while walking through this old looking society, these old stone buildings, Gothic architecture. You're going to offer him some water? Or is he going to reject it? He rejects the water. So what does that water represent? She's so devoted to this water. Thinks it's so special, she wants to share it. And he rejects it. You wouldn't reject any normal drinking water. Has to represent something. He doesn't want anything to do with it. She seems to represent this innocent naivety. And he's this battle-hardened, life-hardened, older man who knows the truth or has been exposed to the realities. Though she's living in this hellscape, she sure has been exposed to. These men are chasing after fish that don't exist. Put his hand on her shoulder. He's protecting her. She smiled. Whoa. Are these the people that I thought were statues? They're all gray. They don't even have faces. Oh, they're not even in the ocean. Shadows of fish in the sky or on the ground. Chasing after something that doesn't exist. Gargoyle is of a fish? Fucking gross looking fish. Those men were chasing after something. Those fish represent something too, just like the water does. Fish live in water. Let's start connecting the dots here. What are they after? What were they trying to catch? That she knows isn't real. Those seats? Are we in a theater? Beautiful stained glass windows, providing the only color in this dreary gray assembly hall or whatever we're in. Oh, unless we're in a church. Duh. Is this a cathedral? Weird seating for a cathedral, but are we in a religious building? Temple? Synagogue? Cathedral? Are we supposed to be thinking about religion? That would tie into, you know, belief and sacredness and devotion. She looks like a Force ghost. That's pretty. Probably the only pretty thing you see in this world. And it's a fish. So she has an egg representing life. She drinks essentially holy water. We're in a church. The man carries around a weapon in the shape of a cross. And the overarching messages and metaphors and themes I'm getting is of fertility and life and things being sacrosanct. The fish are back. A popular symbol of Christianity is that, like, infinity symbol fish that you always see on bumper sticker as a bumper plate or bumper stickers. So is this supposed to be a commentary on religion? Is the fish supposed to represent Christianity? Are they, like, desperate to attain it? Like, attain faith, but you don't attain faith. You attain truth. Enlightenment. And that would go away from religious faith. They're mutually exclusive. And the church bells. This is yeah, there are religious undertones everywhere in this movie that I'm only just realizing. Which is this a criticism of religion? And a critique on faith? It's kind of... Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Because way too many things in conjunction are adding up to that not be what this movie is about. Though again, in such vague, abstract terms. Don't do anything to my egg. Coming from her speaking to him, that sounds very like protecting her innocence, protecting her virginity, protecting her body. Her egg is life, doing something to it. It breaking or cracking or him stealing it could be stealing her innocence, stealing her stealing her child, a miscarriage, an abortion. Is that supposed to be writing or what is this? Almost looks like a motherboard, like circuitry. Oh, that's a tree? So long ago that I've forgotten. Under a sky where the clouds made sounds as they moved. A world of the past. The black horizon swelled, and from it grew a huge tree. It sucked the life from the ground. Its pulsing branches reached up, as if to grasp it. The giant bird, sleeping within an egg. That's the opening shot we saw. Still dreaming inside that egg? Oh, from the wide shot, it is a tree. Oh, we not know it's supposed to be in the egg? Is there nothing actually in the egg? But she has faith that there is something in there worth protecting? That it is something real? Not just a lie, not just an idea. Going back to religion. Look at all these bottles. Are these all hers? All these bottles of water? Her devotion to this water. To this idea that it's special or sacred. Her obsession with it. Her collection. Is this supposed to represent her faith? All this effort she's going through for this damn water. That's a bird fossil. Long dead and gone. But you can still see it today. All the water lined up against it, leading to it. A bottle for every day? No. Okay. I want him to. I still don't trust him. I will blot out man who I have created from the face of them. Man and beast and creeping things. For I am sorry that I have made them. This sounds like a passage out of Genesis. Oh, is he talking about the flood in the Old Testament? I'm not a religious person by any means, but, you know, being a Westerner, you can't escape, you know this stuff. Yeah, he's talking about the flood. 40 days and 40 nights, yeah. He's talking about Noah's Ark and the flood. The ark floated on the face of the waters. I don't remember it written like this, damn. Only Noah was left, and those that were with him in the ark. And he sends the bird out. And in the Bible, the bird comes back with a branch to signify that the bird found land. Yep, sent forth the dove. So that's different. The bird did not return. All this waiting, waiting, and waiting. And they forgot who they were and where they came from. And the truth. The animals died. Did Noah die? Definitely religious commentary. Religion is a dream. Religion is a lie. Maybe the bird never existed at all. All lies, all stories, all myths told to us for us to believe. Does he represent the deconverted man? And she's the one still clinging onto faith, filling up the water jars, leading to this bird that never existed. Protecting her egg so fragile. Her faith becoming more fragile. You have to break an egg to find out what's inside. You have to break your faith. More bottles. He's trying to deconvert her. She's trying to convert him. What did he just see? Is that an angel? So who's right here? Again, long dead and gone. This is a fossil. Oh, she shouldn't have admitted. I think she should have said that. What is this thing? Is that what they've been in the entire... What is that? Hmm. Man, my discussion's about to be a headache. I have a headache now just trying to remember everything to have a worthy discussion for this film. How long are we into this? 47 minutes out of an hour and 11 minutes? I gotta remember for this discussion I'm about to have. He's telling her the truth. She's disillusioned. He's dreaming of flying in the sky. No, that's just the wind outside. Stop being delusional. Yeah, she's comforted by her faith. It's warm, there's no rain. But she's naive. Look, it's raining outside. It's not cold. It's not warm, it's cold. This is reality. Ignorance is bliss. How easy it is to go through life being dumb, or being ignorant, or being naive, because you don't know the truth. That's why you see some of the most intellectual, some of the most creative, some of the most thought-provoking people in history and today end up being some of the most depressed. Some of the most emotionally burdened because they're the ones who ask questions, seek answers, seek truth, think about complex things, worry about complex things. Of course you'd be depressed, stressed, uncertain. Is there another flood? This is a lot of rain covering the ground. These fishermen statues. Again, what a shot. The water's really pouring now. Remember, those were only drips coming out of that fountain before when she was filling up her jug. Now it's raging. Is that why she said you have to come here? You have to stay with me? She knows that the water is going to be rising. Get to high ground. In whatever the hell she's living in. He gonna steal the egg while she's sleeping? Fade to black. Never. Oh, never mind. We're back. Somewhat fade to black. So eerily silent. Just religious, angelic type singing, chanting in the background. Giving me goosebumps, or at least making the hair on my back of my head stand up. How long are we sitting here for? Damn. Can I go refill my water? Or... we fading to black now? No, it's finally nighttime. The fire's out. Uh-oh. The egg is exposed. She's being negligent. Uh-oh. This is the moment he was waiting for. He was waiting for her. Those look like military fatigues. He has to be a soldier. Oh, well, duh. He was a soldier because he was with... he hopped off the tank. Duh. Just... hey. Oh, that's the stairway she was at in the beginning when she woke up. Oh, this is where she woke up from. Look at the gun, looking like a cross. Just like Trigun. Which also had heavy religious undertones in it. Did he just crush the egg? Uh-oh. Did he just smash the egg? There's the water. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The water's waist high now on those fishermen. Water level's rising. Oh, up to their heads now. Is the street lamp underwater? I think it is, because you can see the... yep, because everything's floating now. Everything's submerged. Great way to show and not tell. Of just like... the bubbles coming out from the mouth. The floating ropes. The shimmer in the water. To be able to animate that, you know? Uh-oh, she's awake. Did he leave her? Because this is one of the buildings in the town, and she's over in her cave-looking thing. Uh-oh. She about to wake up and see a egg yolk on the ground. Egg smashed. Let me turn down my volume in case she lets out a wail that deafens me. She looks exactly like when she woke up in the beginning of the movie. But with no egg. She's gonna look over. Either the egg's gone or the egg's smashed on the floor. Well, she would have seen it up by now. Again, completely silent. Oh, she just stepped on the eggshell? Oh! He did smash it. Broke her. I did not turn my headphones down enough. She's lost everything. Damn, he really smashed that. What is this place? Is that the tree he was talking about? Hmm. Now she's lost. Because does the egg represent her faith, and now her faith has been broken? And now she has nothing? And now she's exposed to reality? Uh-oh. Is he gonna rescue her? Or is she about to perish? Drowning. Touching her belly. As if she was pregnant. Has she just grown up? Why does she look like a full-grown woman now? The water flooding into her lungs. All these floating eggs? What's going on? Did she do that? This almost funerary music makes me feel like we just witnessed the death of something. Is it about to hatch? Or are all those birds in there, you know, long dead and gone? Just like all those fossils. But it still looked like, you know, an unhatched egg, but... Feathers. The hell? Is it the spaceship again? Oh. Was the spaceship underwater? Oh, okay, it was underwater. Everybody with praying hands. They look like fossils themselves. Oh. There she is. What is that supposed to mean? I'm going to be sitting here for like 20 minutes unpacking this before I start talking. In my discussion. In my analysis portion. Did she become a statue? Or was she always there? Like many have come before her. She's just one of many, you know? Okay, we're really panning out now. Pan out again. Look at all in a straight line, those rocks. What am I supposed to be seeing here? I'm gonna have to pan out again. And then again. We're gonna see the whole planet? Like zooming out on Google Earth. Okay. Am I supposed to be seeing this from a different angle? All these stones in straight lines. Leading to what? I think less than 100 words were spoken in this movie. Okay, that does not help at all. Why is one side darker than the other? Almost looks like whole continents, but it's not, because you can see the city right there. These are forests. This ain't even planet shaped. This ain't round. What is this? Zoom out again. Give me more information. What the hell is that? Is that a ship? Is that the hull of a ship? Is it over? It's over? Was that a ship? Is that... Oh, what the hell? I I'm not I'm not doing my discussion for like 30 minutes because I'm going to have to sit here and think about what the hell I have to say. Okay. So, after sitting here in silence for a good 20 minutes, I'm going to attempt to give my best film class analysis that I can. This movie was as much an enigma as it was a masterpiece. Like like the water pouring down on us. The whole film was just drenched in surrealism, drenched in poetic allegory, and drenched in religious symbolism. Despite being so saturated, though, the narrative was nonetheless still so cryptic and, in a way, entirely personal. This movie invites many different interpretations and opposes any set in stone definitive conclusion. It's ultimately pointless, I would say, to assign any one particular correct answer. You, me, us all are demanded to engage on a deep and subjective level. So I hope you were as immersed and engaged as I was, either when you first watched this movie, if you have already in the past and you joined along with me, or if you were like me and this was your first time watching. Is there even a way to summarize this film? Like, if I had to, all I could confidently and objectively state is that it's about this young, nameless girl who protects this egg in a seemingly desolate, nightmarish, post-apocalyptic, yet also dreamlike world where she meets a mysterious soldier wanting for the egg. He questions her faith in the egg and in the end betrays her by breaking it. This description doesn't do it justice whatsoever, and I think you would agree with that. This movie just, simply needs to be seen and taken in with your ears and your eyes, because this is more of a meditative odyssey than any sort of conventional narrative at all. And I really like that. I don't watch many movies like that. Skeleton of a plot, super sparse dialogue, but where there was dialogue, each syllable and word had weight to them. You're not merely passively observing this film, you are actively interpreting it in real time. And so my first interpretation was that this film is about fertility, virginity, pregnancy, even what goes along with that, abortion and miscarriage. There are a lot of feminine archetypes in this movie, so you have every right to interpret the film this way. And I'm sure that was also the intention with a lot of things in this movie. I do think the girl personifies fertility and motherly nurturing, but in this context, the nurturing aspect of faith, the egg she protects, may symbolize the womb and fertility, just as it symbolizes the very fragility of hope or life itself. Hope is fragile. Faith is fragile. Life is fragile. She aligns with the general female archetype, I would say, of the what's known as the eternal feminine, which embodies creation and renewal, just as a woman's womb and a woman's body creates and renews life. I also wonder if the girl's protective relationship with this egg and her portrayal by a man could be read as a commentary on the patriarchy, on patriarchal destruction, a man destroying a woman's hope, a woman's nurturing role undermined by a man's or male rationalism and male skepticism. I don't know. I don't see it as that, but it's worth bringing up as a discussion piece. So, because upon much deeper and further analysis, as I sat here trying to rack all my thoughts together and organize it like a Rolodex, I feel the film's central philosophical tension revolves around the nature of faith and its inherent fragility. There's plenty of religious symbolism here, and you could see me pointing it out and trying to piece it all together throughout the movie. I was actually Googling Oshii's name to see if he was a religious man or a troubled man. And so take this with a grain of salt, this fact, but apparently he once studied to become a Catholic priest, but lost his faith along the way somehow and is now atheist, or at the very least agnostic. Oshii embeds Christian imagery and sound throughout. The church bells, the stained glass, the fish, the choir-like singing and soundtrack that you hear in the background, the cross-like staff carried on the shoulders by a prophet or messianic-like figure, the girl's religious level devotion to this water and egg. We have machines made of like angelic-like statues and figures, suggesting the idea that God and religion is manufactured. We have a soldier, a man of war, wield a weapon that is shaped like a cross, suggesting the idea that religion is a tool and a weapon, reminding you how many wars have been waged and how many deaths have happened in the name of a particular God on behalf of a particular religion throughout humanity's history. We have a crucial monologue describing how the story of the flood and Noah's Ark in the Old Testament is a fabrication, a lie, a bedtime story you tell to comfort children. To me, this movie is an exploration of faith and one's blind belief in something that may or may not exist, trying to keep hope alive in something the rest of the world has moved on from, and whether or not it's even worth it to keep holding on to something you can't even see, just as the girl is desperately holding on to this egg, and as the man noted, you can't even see inside the egg to know if it's real or what's inside it. We're meant to ponder about the deconversion from religion, the loss of faith, the general critiques of religion as a whole, specifically Christianity. The egg has to represent faith, the development and required maintenance of faith within a person or yourself. Faith is a fragile thing. I said that earlier. The egg likewise symbolizes the girl's unwavering belief in something sacred, something sacrosanct, something mysterious, something potentially life-giving or life-fulfilling. It gives her purpose. Religion gives lost and confused people purpose. The man's skepticism represents doubt and the existential challenge to blind faith. Blind faith. When he breaks the egg, such an act could symbolize the shattering of naive belief or the inevitability of disillusionment. You have to break an egg to see what's inside. So the more you learn about the world, about history, about science, about the universe, about nature, it becomes increasingly difficult to maintain one's faith in religion. To believe in the science of the earth and the solar system and the galaxy and the universe and how it operates requires abandoning the need for a God and abandoning faith subtly or completely. I thought the pictures of water symbolize the endless, countless hours, days, years, even centuries that have been devoted and wasted to religion. The time wasted on empty rituals and things thought of as sacred. The ghostly fishermen, I'm not so confident about. They are vastly more up to a personal interpretation, in my opinion, than the other elements are that I'm speaking about. Obviously, I want to hear all of your opinions, but to me, I felt like the ghostly fishermen are like religious zealots. Zealots might be too extreme of a word, but you know what I'm trying to say, or like representative of the traits many unwavering religious people hold, chasing after validation or proof or justification for their faith, what they see as religious truths, pursuing enlightenment from their path, where there is none, as opposed to enlightenment from science, where it is increasingly abundant. There are no real fish, there are only shadows, tricks, your eyes simply seeing things, nothing material, nothing real, delusions. That is organized religion. The fossils we see likely represent time. At least that's how I got it. The remains of something long dead and gone that have remained stuck in place unchanged for millions of years. The shadowy fish we see likewise looked like those ancient prehistoric coelacanth type species of fish that we thought were long extinct before finding them alive in the ocean, still completely unchanged and unevolved, identical to the past. To me, these fossil images and ancient fish are supposed to convey how religions are also ancient and static, still existing after thousands of years, when one would rightfully think in the modern world, in the modern age, they'd be extinct, killed off, identical to what they were back before humans even knew what stars were or what the sun was, that the earth wasn't at the center of anything, refusing to change or evolve in the face of science and in the face of progress. Religions are fossils. And I identified with what the movie was critiquing because the message personally aligns with my feelings and opinions about organized religion and my own lack of belief in a God. This movie explores the overarching ideas of theology, and I'm fascinated by theology from a philosophical, psychological, archetypal storytelling view. It took me a very long time to get to where I'm at today. I said it during the movie that as an American, or even just as a Westerner in general, there's no question or escape from the fact that I've been exposed to and conditioned from the Judeo-Christian worldview since I was a child. I went to private school from kindergarten all the way through high school. We're saturated in Christianity over here. In my opinion, to say you believe in God means to live as though God exists. Belief is how you act, not what merely comes out of your mouth when you try to say whatever you think that you think. What do you even know about what you think? Our thoughts are in no way transparent or consistent to us. We say one thing and do something else all the time. We contradict ourselves as hypocrites every day in some small manner or another. To believe in something is to stake your life on that thing. I stake my life on evolution, on the earth being 4+ billion years old. To believe in God is to stake your life on God. And to me, who can do that? I don't live that way, and I don't want to. I don't live as though a God exists. I couldn't care less about God. So no, I guess I don't believe in a God. I don't go out and try to be a decent human being every day over the belief or hope that my life and my actions might be looked down upon favorably by some judging creator. But that's not the same as saying God does not exist. I just don't go about life with the thought preoccupying my mind and dictating how I live my life. If you say God doesn't exist, you're an idiot. If you say God does exist, you're also an idiot. You just have to be careful with the word believe. Believe doesn't mean to state it, it means to act it out. So unless you act it out, you should be very careful about claiming it. And there are what, 3,000 gods in the world across all faiths and organized religions. So if you're Catholic, you don't believe in 2,999 gods. I simply don't believe in just one more than you do. Religion was a very early attempt to answer the questions we all ask ourselves. Why are we here? Where did we come from? And science today provides better, more consistent answers, but people will always cling to religion because it gives comfort to those who do not trust or even understand science. For me, the more I read and learn and look at the universe, the less convinced I am that something benevolent is going on. People say their God is all powerful, all knowing, all good. I look at the natural disasters that wreak havoc on this earth. I look at cancer in children and in my family. I look at widespread disease, famine, genocide, and I look at the long list of natural ways life is made to suffer in misery and agony and pain. Our planet revolves around a sun that gives us skin cancer. Most of the water on Earth is undrinkable. The mosquito alone kills, like 700,000 people a year? So I say either your God is not all powerful or not all good. There's simply no evidence. And this is why religions are called faiths. You believe in something in the absence of evidence, and I have no faith. That aligns exactly with the critique this movie provides. And oh, well, God works in mysterious ways. Well, a God who works in mysterious ways bears a suspiciously strong resemblance to shit just happening. And at the rate in which miracles occur feels pretty indistinguishable from just random chance. So what's the difference between a universe with a God who doesn't intervene and the universe with just no God? It's like when inventing a God, the most important thing you have to do is claim that God is invisible, inaudible, and imperceptible in every possible way. Otherwise, people will, become a little skeptical when God doesn't appear to anyone, remains totally silent, and doesn't do a goddamn thing. And, don't forget, he's also broke and needs your money. So, to me, instead of religion, why not just side with reason? In just a couple hundred years, science has taken us farther in our understanding of the universe than any religion has in the last 10,000. Religion to me is merely a substitution for human thought. And, just have to say that bluntly. Religion was man-made to control people, convince people they're broken, sell the solution. Religion offers a gold-plated excuse to stop thinking. And you see it throughout time. Humans have created mythological frameworks that have always involved some kind of higher spiritual being. But as we learn and know more and more and more and more, it seems harder and harder and harder to prove the existence of God, and easier and easier and easier to disprove the arguments for one. So where does that leave us, one might ask? And I would say, on our own. And I would also say that is a good thing. To me, it's much more responsible than hoping someone will save us so that we don't have to do our best ourselves. Behaving responsibly and good without the fear of consequences in some afterlife hanging over your head is by far much more admirable and moral as the clear signs of a good human being. And so, if I'm wrong, and God wants to prove how powerful he is by sending someone like me to hell, then shit, he can do it. I'll go gladly and proudly knowing that I resisted a dictator like that who would create a hell in the first place. In my opinion, any system of thought that's based upon a threat of violence, like the threat of eternal torture, which is what hell is, the kind of system of thought that terrifies the minds of children in bed at night, wondering if they're going to hell or not, that's a morally bankrupt system. And I don't think holding the Bible under your arm and preaching it is something someone should be proud of. And the mysterious soldier embodies and conveys these thoughts of mine exactly. When the soldier tells the story of the Great Flood and Noah's Ark, instead of the dove returning a branch, proving it had found land, and the flood was receding as told in the Old Testament, in his version, the bird never returned, and the ark was doomed to float adrift on the seas for eternity. And Noah and all the animals on it died, hinging their lives and clinging onto the shallow faith of a dumb bird. And so, yeah. We also can't not talk about the animation quality. Let's diverge from such a serious topic like that, and let's talk about the animation. The animation in this movie beautifully evokes senses of dread and loneliness. It's beautiful, but it's also incredibly melancholic. And so, is that the vibe Oshii consistently gives in his other works? I don't even know what else he has done, but it seems like this is his personality and this is his vibe. Watch how the landscape reflects our character's psychology. The girl's solitary existence, wandering this ruined world, embodies existential loneliness, something we all understand. People cling to religion not just for easy answers, but for community, to not feel alone. The man only deepens her isolation as he ultimately betrays her trust in the most brutal fashion. The art and atmosphere is simply breathtaking and goosebump giving. The blending of gothic aesthetics with post-apocalyptic aesthetics. Certain frames and scenes almost feel reminiscent of classical paintings with the way light and shadow contrast so starkly. Imagery of water also dominates this film. I said that during the reaction. I kept pointing it out, symbolizing life, symbolizing death, cleansing, rebirth. We have ruins submerged in water, fossilized fish. It altogether, to me, suggests a great flood, evoking Noah's Ark and the story from the book of Genesis. The egg holding the potential of life gorgeously contrasts the sheer desolation of the surrounding world our girl wanders in. The imagery and animation makes me feel like this movie could also be a subtle commentary on Japan post World War II and the aftermath of dropping 2 atomic bombs on the country. I read a quote once years ago that vaguely said something along the lines of, if there can be no poetry after Auschwitz, there can be no faith after Hiroshima, in which man proved the ability to create the apocalypse, the end of days, revelations without the help of God. There is no faith in this world left in this movie. It does remind me of Nagasaki and Hiroshima after the bombs fell. It reminds me of the fear of nuclear war in general and the warmongering West, the death and destruction we create. And so what is the setting of this movie? A world bleached by atomic fire, it looks like, overcast in a permanent nuclear winter, skeletal leviathans, people frozen in stone, shadows hunted by ghosts, biomech tank weapons marching through the streets, destroyed by a war between long dead sides. We have a girl radiating naive innocence and frail survival who fiercely holds on to and guards an unhatched egg. And we have a cross-wielding man who sees this possibility and potential for new life amid all this death, depression, and darkness, who can only think, what? To destroy it. It is very thought-provoking and emotional, which I adore. Because how many times in my Let's Watch series do I say I value and enjoy exposition, dialogue, and character development as much, if not more, than I do action? There is absolutely no action in this film. There is barely even any dialogue. I was almost worried going into the film I wouldn't have much to work with for my film class discussion here, and luckily I do. I was very intrigued by the film's deliberate pacing and long stretches of total silence. And I appreciated these creative choices by Oshii because they force us as the viewer to dwell on the imagery. Hang in there. There's a rhythm to the film. It feels like an hour-long meditation session where we emphasize introspection over action. And so when dialogue does occur, your ears perk up. You adjust yourself in your seat. You pay attention. You kind of lean forward as each word is valuable. But the dialogue between our only two characters is still cryptic and laden with intense symbolic weight that you have to uncover, dig up. So, for example, the man muses about maybe you and I and the fish only exist in the memory of a person who is long gone. Maybe no one really exists and it's only raining outside. And memories of things that never happened and having to break an egg to find out what's inside. You can't help but question the very nature of belief and the reliability or lack of reliability of perception, what you perceive. It's incredibly introspective and existential. I love existential media. So now for the ending, am I the only one who thinks the ending looks like the hull of a ship as it zoomed out and zoomed out and zoomed out? And if it is the hull of a ship, we have to be looking at it from above as the camera pans out because we're looking at the bottom of the ship. That bellow bath shape. We have to be looking at it from above as the camera zooms and pans out. So the ship inverted on itself. It capsized. The ship has to have capsized. And that would connect again to, if we're talking about a ship, what's the one ship that's mentioned in this movie repeatedly? Noah's Ark. The bird never returning and the ship being lost at sea forever. Doomed. Capsized. Sank. Everybody on board dead. Doomed. So would you say the capsized ship or capsized ark signifies what? The death of faith, the death of religion, the death of belief in that kind of myth or that kind of legend? I don't know, because the ending is so ambiguous. The imagery of zooming out to show a different reality could be that of transformation on the other side. It could be positive. It could be evolution, the cycles of creation and destruction, life and death. The ending could suggest that faith and doubt are intertwined in the human condition. It's inescapable. I don't know. Again, the point of the movie is to not have definitive answers, and I don't have one for the ending. All I can say is that overall, to me, I interpret Angel's Egg as a critique of blind faith and specifically the disillusionment with Christianity, because that's what Oshii personally went through and transformed as. I think the mysterious man who speaks in scripture and speaks almost in proverbs and carries a cross represents a Christ-like figure who challenges the girl's naive, childlike devotion and belief, exposing the fragility and futility of such faith in a broken world. There is a human need to ascribe meaning to life. The girl's faith in the egg mirrors humanity's tendency to cling to symbols and idols and rituals to cope with the void. The girl's journey reflects each of our life's processes of individualization or individuation, with the egg's destruction symbolizing an obviously painful yet very necessary step we all have towards maturity, towards truth, ultimately towards self-realization. Is faith inherently futile, or does faith have a potential for transformation despite its fragility? Is the mysterious man a savior, or is he a destroyer? Or both? Did he hurt her in the moment, but help her or even save her in the long run? Is the egg a literal representation of life? Is it a symbol of belief and faith, or a physical manifestation of something entirely too great and too complex to be merely expressed or described in simple words? You choose. And that is where I'm going to end film class today. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button to let me know, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already to join the community and stay in the loop here. Don't forget to keep the conversation going down in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on this as well. Having said all that, and with that said, stay safe, stay well, stay you. Have a good one.